Many are anxious about loved ones who've died as unbelievers, that they are in never-ending torment or annihilated. But Jesus didn't come to torment or terminate. He came to transform. Yes, he judges, but his judgments restore people. And God doesn't just restore all humanity. He wants us to know with certainty that he does. To understand this assurance, let's look at two men named Saul. In the Old Testament, Saul was Israel's first king. Before his appointment, he was searching for his father's lost donkeys. When the prophet Samuel met him to anoint him as king, Samuel said in 1 Samuel 9:20, "As for the donkeys you lost 3 days ago, do not worry about them. They have been found." Think about this. If God cared enough to assure Saul about his lost donkeys, surely God wants to assure us about our lost loved ones. Now consider the second Saul, Saul of Tarsus, later known as the Apostle Paul. In the book of Romans, after explaining justification by faith and sanctification by the Spirit, he asks in chapter 9, "What about the Jews?" And in doing so, he addresses a bigger question. What about the fate of unbelieving relatives? Paul was asking about his unbelieving relatives, his kinsfolk, the Jews. After noting Israel's unbelief, Paul writes in Romans 11:25-26, "For I do not want you, brethren, to be uninformed of this mystery, so that you will not be wise in your own estimation, that a partial hardening has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in, and so all Israel will be saved." Notice it's only a partial hardening. In the end, all, not just some of Israel, will be saved. How does this happen? Paul answers in verses 26 and 27. "The deliverer will come from Zion. He will remove ungodliness from Jacob. This is my covenant with them when I take away their sins." All Israel will be saved when God removes ungodliness from Jacob. This isn't about a lenient God who lets people into heaven. This is a powerful God who takes away the sin of Jacob through his judgments. Paul then declares in verse 29, "The gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. God made irrevocable promises to the Jews and to all the families of the earth in Genesis 12 verse 3 that he will fulfill in the next life." That's why Paul concludes in verse 32 that God will show mercy to all. Here's the point. God will not only restore all humanity to worship him, he wants you to be assured that Jesus will restore all. Just as he assured the first Saul about his lost donkeys and the second Saul about his kinsmen, God assures us that our lost loved ones will be found.